All right, let's review yet another Noster client. We'll just go to it. I've never been in this, so I'm looking at this for the first time. And I'm doing this kind of to give you my fresh first look perspective. And the first thing I see is this thing here. And nothing is happening. There seems to be just the logo on the page. Oh. Okay. So I think that's number one problem right there. Priority is to make sure it loads fast. I don't know if that was my internet connection or what happened. Let's just try it again. There seems to be some delay. It worked the second time. Alright. My first thing I want to point out here is that I have no idea what this is. And because I don't know what this is, I want to leave. So I think good best practice, at least in any kind of application design, and not just Nostr clients, is to show content on the page. Basically not requiring the user to log in to understand what this is about. If they don't know what this is, if like the person coming to this website, if they don't know what this is, they may not just take the effort to jump in through the hoops to sign up. Even if the sign up is easy and they still may not just do it because they have no idea what this is. It looks like it could be a login for a company page, some kind of private, network area storage login or something, right? Like it's really hard to tell because it doesn't say anything. It just has login, and it has Yana as a name here, and that's it, right? Like, what are you supposed to do here? Log in? Why? That's the big question, right? The second thing I'll point out here is, so yeah, first of all, show content. Like, show your actual client here, and don't require login, and then ask people to log in, right? After they're able to browse the client around a little bit, see what it's about. And second thing I want to point out is that you're asking for your secret keys, right? NSEC. And our current best practice, if you take a look at nosterdesign.org, is not to ask for NSEC, primarily because it's such a sensitive field that if you enter it just in any random website, they can just steal your key if they're a malicious actor. Or even if they're not a malicious actor, they just have some poorly coded backend that just leaks your keys somehow. Ask people to create a new key or log in with an extension. And through the extension, they can just, it's one extra step. Yes, it's a pain. And yes, there's more pain on mobile, but at least they'll be safe that way and they'll never lose their, well, I don't want to say never, but they're less likely to lose their key. So I'm definitely not going to enter my NSEC here. So I will do, and I don't have extension because I'm on Safari. I'll just generate a new key here. Searching for relays. Okay. Alright, so it looks like something is loading here. There's some skeleton loading thing happening here. So that's good that you have some skeleton loaders. But it looks like it's not loading. Relay 6 out of 6. But where am I? Oh, no, here it is now. So I think posts and replies are blank because naturally I would just not have anything to post, right? Or anything replied as I first joined. So perhaps consider that when you first join, people are not going to have anything here. Maybe global is the better tab for that. Maybe that should be the default tab when you load it up. Let's just kind of look at this. There's just so many things for me to mention here. I'm just trying to figure out where to start. So the relay part, like where it says loading, like looking up relays or something, or searching for relays, I don't remember exactly what it said, but that part in itself could be considered like confusing, especially you're not involving the user in selecting the relays. You're pre-selecting some relays for them, like starter relays, which is fine as long as they can edit them, right? I'm assuming they can. Let's go quick to relays real quick. Yeah, so they can delete and they can add, even though it's kind of hard to see it on the bottom here. Maybe just have one like line here and says add relay here. But the fact that it's loading something is showing something about relays, but it doesn't tell you anything about relays. I wonder if that's really like useful to say that. Could just say like connecting or something, right, at that point, because people don't really know what relays are. But it's just a minor detail. On the relay selection, I would definitely have like relay. I'm assuming this is a relay and not a new note. Oh, no, this is a new note button, right? So you need a way to add relay. What is this? Oh, it's on the bottom. So like I had no idea this add relay input was here. It doesn't look like an input. It looks like some kind of little disclaimer or something, and it's on the bottom. I would create an actual input looking field here that says add a new relay. That's super important for the user to kind of have the capability to add relays. But let's look at the rest of this. Let's go to home again. We'll have to go to global. I see one thing here that I'm leaving relays, right? I go to search and home, but it's still here. So to me, that it feels a little bit counterintuitive. Like I want this thing to disappear, and it seems like I have to click this to make it disappear. I would prefer that everything load in one screen as I navigate between tabs, and have those things populate appropriately as I leave those areas, right? And here again, you click on the profile and it's loading like in the same window. I guess to some people that might be cool. That might actually be a feature. But to me, I expect the screens to change as I navigate to different tabs. I'm not like clicking a different window to open here. Like what happens here? It almost feels like it's modular and I should be able to add like other things here, but that's not the case, right? So it's actually updating settings, but yet it's still showing me the tab for the replies and for global independently of where I click on here, right? Profile's here, but the tabs are still here. So I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense to me. I would personally just update this view entirely. Like when I click settings, I don't expect this to be here at all. I expect just to be settings there. That would make more sense to me. Alright, let's go back to home again. Let's close this out just for the sake of keeping this sane a little bit. Another thing I would note is, at least you can probably see on my large screen, this is iMac, whatever the resolution is, 2560 by whatever. It's a wide resolution. It's beyond 1080 1080p, even beyond like 1440p. So it's like 5K resolution, right? But your design is not accounting for that. Like you can see, I have a huge space that has nothing there, and the button is way on the right here. And this almost feels like it should be, what do they call them? God, my head is drawing a blank right now. You know those clients that have multiple columns? Tweet deck, right? A deck of sorts where you have multiple columns. If that was the case, then this blank space would make sense, and you can just populate other columns in here. But this doesn't seem to be the case, unless it is, and I'm just not seeing it here. Maybe there's a new column here somewhere. Something like that. Like, I don't understand why there's so much space. I do like the fact that you are aligning things next to the menus, and you don't have to have content way in the center here, and then the menu is way on the left. I think that's part of the thing that Twitter gets right, is the content is center and the menu is nearby. It's not super far away. You can still see it. I also like the fact that you have a really good kind of line length. I think it could be a little bit wider, perhaps, slightly so, like this. But the line length is readable here. It's nice. You don't have to like look this far, to read things. So you did this really well in terms of line length. But yeah, I wonder like about this search bar. It's like on the left. The banner is really tiny. It's not going to fit any format that other clients are supporting, I think. Most clients have like a wider banner that's a wide 16 by 9 or so, or at least like a 4 by 3, and this seems to be like a square. So I don't know. It doesn't like highlight. It doesn't maximize space to me, at least. I would make this wider and probably just have it, update on profile page instead of just showing it here. Like now it's showing in two places, right? I have my image here and I have it here, and I have this here. Like I don't see the reason for having this entire banner. And I guess the profile is okay, PFP, but the banner, I don't see why that needs to be there. Um, and here it's full screen, right? So somebody might upload an image that absolutely does not fit this kind of format, this aspect ratio. It's just not going to look well. I think your particular image looks well because their heads are in the center here. But if somebody uploads something where the primary subject is on the bottom or on the top or on the left or on the right, They just may not fit in here. So I think personally I would use this area to display all this content. Maybe, here, make it wider. Perhaps center it all. Perhaps bring this closer to the center as well here, left navigation. And just have a slightly larger format than this, but contain the image. It's just too wide. But yeah, I guess this is all personal preference, right? So if you are developing this client, chances are you like this format or this is something you're going for. Just in terms of usability, it feels like it doesn't make the best use of space to me. It's doing like using too little space here and not enough space here and too much space here, right? So there's like all these different aspects going on. Let's see, what else can I tell you here besides that? You've got accounts, so it looks like you have account switching. It's a little delayed, so I keep clicking it, and it takes time to load up, and I re-click it and messes it up. So this is really cool. You have multi-account. I like that version. Okay, that goes to GitHub, I guess. Security filters. I wonder what this is. Blocked words. Oh, this is really cool. You already have blocked words in here. Well, let's try. Let's see if it works. Let's see. What kind of node do we have here? Let's just block for loaf cleaver. What do you do? Enter? Oops. How do I add this word? No. NFT. Like, it doesn't seem to work. Maybe that function is not developed yet. Maybe I'm just kind of jumping ahead. But yeah, if it's not developed, then I would not show this security filters here, or at least not show blocked words if blocked profiles work. Because people are gonna visit it soon. If they try to test this out and they try to. This is a cool feature to me. Like, I want clients with mute lists, and if you have mute lists working already, this is what I'm assuming blocked word means. That's really cool, but it doesn't seem to be working. Like, nothing happens, and if I press plus, it just does a new note. All right, let's look at profile. I looked at that a little bit. Notifications, like, again, it's loading here, and there's nothing happening here. I think personally, if these kind of areas are empty, I would just not show these skeletons, because what the skeletons indicate is that something is loading, especially when they're animated and they kind of pulse, right? Pulse, or you can see the animation, gradient animation, and nothing's happening here, so this just kind of feels broken. I would personally just say, like, no new notifications, and maybe you can show like one large icon that kind of symbolizes that there's no notifications, right? Like 0 or something, or like a sad face, no notifications. I don't know. Like, there are placeholder art that you can use, placeholder illustrations, and just say no new notifications or no notifications waiting for you. Sorry. But this loading skeleton just feels like something's gonna happen, but nothing happens, and it just kind of leaves the site looking broken. All right, keys. Again, see this kind of wide format. Perhaps that looks great on laptop. If you're on a laptop, maybe this doesn't feel so bad. But what I like here is in the settings here, you contain the width, right? See how this is contained, and see how this is not contained. So I think you should go for like consistent look and contain all the settings. And I'll personally just get rid of this left area completely, and get rid of this back closing. Like, it looks like it's gonna close, and just use this as primary navigation for updating one window pane, just as every other standard client is doing that. I would not reinvent the wheel there personally, because they're doing that for a reason, and yeah, it's just better UX in my opinion. All right, let's see what else is here. Let's just check out the speed of loading notes. I'm stuck on Cheetos. I'm trying to scroll up and down right now, and nothing is happening here. So yeah, definitely needs to utilize caching if you're not. Something needs to happen to speed it up. At this point, like, even if I ignore all these design decisions of having to have multiple kind of columns that I don't personally enjoy, But even if I just ignore all that and I try to use your client at this moment, I just wouldn't be able to. This kind of delay is a little too frustrating. But of course, I understand you're developing this. Of course, I understand I'm just providing feedback at this point. But I'm just giving you like my 100% honest opinion that if it was loading at this rate, I would not consider this as a client to use daily. So yeah, definitely try to maybe once you fix up the design things, work on the kind of um, performance, and maybe if you make the security filters muted words work, I think then you could have potentially something there, something worth considering for regular use. I'd like to see the design improve as well. There's just too many links. Like you can see the links here, but throw underline. You're already using a different color. I don't see why you need to use the underline in the links. Personally, I would remove it. But yeah, I can give you a million design kind of tips here, but I would not listen to me just for that. Just check out existing frameworks. Check out what is it called? Untitled UI. Check out Untitled UI, and just type that into Google, and you'll see what those elements look like for dashboards and things. Then look at Tailwind UI. Even if you just go on their website and check out the components, I would look at. This feels to me like a material UI type of thing, and I don't know. It's just a personal preference to me, at least. I think material UI always kind of feels a little bit dated to me. But yeah, maybe some people like it. Maybe people like Roboto as a font. This looks like a Roboto. Maybe this is Inter. I don't know. I can't tell right now. But it's cool that there's another client. It's nice that somebody else is working on something and that somebody's actually considering blocked words as a feature. I've always wanted that feature. I hope you make this client work really well. I hope it looks nice. Hopefully, some of the things I've said offer some ideas to improve it. And yeah, let me know if I can test it again later if you want somebody to test it. Either functionality, either you need additional design feedback, or even if you want me to sketch something out for you, I'm happy to do that as well. Um, I hope, like, I prefer not to design everybody's clients, but then everything just looks the same because I have the same style all across. We don't want a bunch of carnage clients, right? We want other designers to have a go at it and to have designs that look totally different and cool, not just kind of simplistic, minimal black designs that I typically produce. So yeah, hopefully this helps, and I'll end it here. All right, bye.